They said Chrissy would ride for Jim no matter what, but today sis ain't riding. She's begging in the middle of traffic, on her knees, crying so hard paramedics had to pull her off the sidewalk.
Why?
Because just hours ago, Jim Jones was dragged out of his studio, handcuffed, humiliated, and exposed. And guess who set the whole thing off? Cameron's people, not the media, not the cops' family. They didn't leak a clip. They leaked an effing documentary. Voice notes, deleted texts, security footage from a hotel Chrissy didn't even know about, all dropped in a burner account that's already racking up views like wildfire. And then it gets worse. The voice in that footage wasn't Jim's. It was someone way too close to Chrissy saying things that make this whole relationship feel like one long setup. This ain't love and hip-hop drama. This is betrayal on a level no one was ready for. And now the internet's exploding, Harlem's in chaos, and Chrissy? She just whispered something under her breath that left even cops frozen. He told me this would happen if I ever spoke the truth. But just when everyone thought things couldn't get worse for Chrissy, the situation took a terrifying turn. Word on the street, she was being followed, not by paparazzi, not by fans, but by what insiders are now calling a private surveillance unit. Multiple sources claim Cameron's cousin, who used to work private security for a big-name politician, is now monitoring Chrissy's movements for reasons nobody's willing to admit publicly. One anonymous tipster even said, "They're not just watching her, they're waiting for something." What that something is, no one knows. But the fear on Chrissy's face when she was spotted at a New Jersey gas station, hands shaking, pacing back and forth while whispering on the phone, told the whole story. And here's where it really spins out of control. Cameron's aunt, yes, the same one who used to beef with Chrissy back in the early 2000s over a BET backstage incident, leaked a handwritten letter to a gossip page. In it, she alleges that Chrissy was the one who tipped off law enforcement about Jim's secret meeting with former crew members who were under federal surveillance. If that's true, oh, it's beyond betrayal. It's war. Let's pause for a second. This isn't some tabloid rumor. The letter is dated, signed, and written with fire. One line literally says, "Chrissy always knew the streets weren't built for Jim, and now she's playing cleanup crew to save her own skin."
Whoa.
The streets lit up. Blogs ran wild. Chrissy the informant became a trending topic on Black Twitter overnight. One user posted this, like, "If El Chapo's girl snitched and cried on IG Live after, I ain't buying it." Another one said, "She cried too hard. That's guilt, not grief." Now, what about the footage that broke the internet right around the time this letter dropped? Cameron's family released what they called the Final Straw video, edited like a Netflix docuseries trailer. It starts with security footage from a Manhattan rooftop lounge where Jim is seen passing a mysterious envelope to a hooded figure. No audio, just chilling silence. The video cuts to Chrissy stepping out of an Uber 5 minutes later, looking anxious, scanning the block. Then boom. Flashing lights, FBI jackets, and Jim in cuffs. But here's the catch. Cameron's cousin, who posted the video, added this in the caption. The whole story been twisted. Here's what the world didn't see. She knew. She led him there. Are we witnessing a setup? Theories started flooding YouTube, Reddit, and even TikTok. One popular thread broke it down like a movie scene. 1. Chrissy convinces Jim to make peace with old affiliates. 2. She accidentally suggests a time and place, knowing the feds have been watching. 3. She shows up crying, knowing what's about to go down. And people ate it up. Even Mona Scott, who has refused to comment on multiple messy situations in the past, posted a cryptic story that said, "Sometimes silence protects the guilty." Fans are convinced that was aimed at Chrissy. Now, let's talk about the alleged financial paper trail. Multiple unverified reports claim that Chrissy opened a new offshore account 2 days before Jim's arrest. The deposit? A cool $250,000. And guess who wired it? A shell company owned by one of Cameron's uncles. Coincidence? Nobody thinks so. One user even posted a screenshot of the alleged transfer with the caption, "She cashed in her man for clout and a payout." The narrative's spiraling. You got people accusing Chrissy of being a government plant. Others say she was manipulated by Cameron's family into thinking Jim was going to leave her for someone younger, so she panicked and made a deal. Whatever the truth is, it's messier than we've ever seen. And if you think Jim doesn't know all this, insiders say he's refusing to take her calls in jail. Yep, straight up ghosting her. The same woman who held him down through career comebacks, label disputes, and a dozen near breakups. Now, he won't even accept her phone calls. Ain't that cold? As the court date looms, Chrissy's been spotted attending church twice in 1 week, rocking sunglasses at night, and walking with her head down. People close to her say she's not sleeping, not eating, and constantly checking her phone like she's waiting for another bombshell to drop. And just when we thought the story was slowing down, Cameron's sister jumped in. Oh, yeah, you heard that right. She posted a black and white image of Chrissy and Jim captioned with nothing but a broken heart emoji and the phrase, "You knew better." This option focuses on Chrissy's internal struggle and her immediate actions after seeing the final video. It emphasizes her transition from passive victim to active participant in uncovering the truth. Chrissy stared at the blank screen, the phone a dead weight in her trembling hand. The air in her house, once a sanctuary, now felt thick with deception. Jim a pawn? Cameron orchestrating this? It was a betrayal so profound it made her fiery confrontations on love and hip-hop look like playground squabbles. The raw grief she'd felt for Jim's arrest twisted into a searing rage. She wasn't just losing her man, she was losing her entire reality. The first thing she did was call her lawyer, but her voice cracked, the words catching in her throat. How could she explain this? A burner phone video from an unknown number, revealing a conspiracy that implicated Cameron and Jim's closest associate? It sounded insane, even to her own ears. But the images were burned into her mind. The calculating look on Cameron's face, the casual dismissal of Jim's fate, and her own unwitting presence in the background. She was a ghost in her own tragedy. Sleep was impossible. Chrissy paced her living room, the city lights reflecting her internal chaos. Every memory with Jim, every whispered promise, every argument, now replayed through the lens of this horrifying revelation. Was every moment a lie? Was she truly so blind? The tough exterior she'd cultivated over years of reality TV drama crumbled, revealing a raw vulnerability she hadn't known existed.
She had to understand.
Not just for Jim, but for herself. She wouldn't be a pawn in someone else's game. Chrissy pulled out her old, rarely used burner phone, the one for truly secret calls. There was only one person she knew who moved in the shadows, who understood the intricate dance of street politics and hidden agendas, a former associate of Jim's, a man named Reese, who had always seemed to know more than he let on. The truth, she realized with a cold certainty, was buried deeper than any leaked document. And she was going to dig it up. Option 2, the conspiracy deepens and the stakes rise. This option immediately broadens the scope, hinting at the larger implications of the conspiracy and introducing new players or threats. The cold weight of the revelation settled on Chrissy's chest.
Jim a pawn.
Cameron, the orchestrator. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just about Jim's freedom or her public image anymore. It was about something far more dangerous, a carefully constructed trap that had snared them both. The final video, showing her unknowingly in the background, was a chilling reminder of how close she had been to the precipice, a bystander in her own undoing. Her phone buzzed, a new message from the same unknown number. "They know you saw it. You're next." A fresh wave of icy dread washed over her. The private surveillance unit wasn't just watching Jim, they were watching her. The pieces clicked into place with horrifying clarity. The leaked letter, the staged video, the financial paper trail, all designed to paint her as the informant, to isolate her, to make her the perfect fall guy.
But why?
What was the larger goal behind dismantling Jim's empire and implicating her? Chrissy knew she couldn't go to the police. This wasn't a matter for standard law enforcement. It was a game being played in the shadows, by people who understood how to manipulate the system. She needed allies, people who knew the real rules of this particular war. Her mind raced, sifting through years of tenuous connections, whispers, and unwritten codes from Jim's world. There was a retired detective, a man known only as Pops, who Jim had occasionally mentioned as someone who saw the bigger picture. He operated strictly off the grid, but his network was vast, and his loyalty, once earned, was unbreakable. Chrissy had dismissed it as street talk before, but now it was her only hope. The battle for Jim's name, and now her own life, had just begun. And this time, Chrissy wasn't just playing defense, she was ready to fight. That had been carefully orchestrated by people she thought she could trust. And in the midst of it all, Chrissy found herself caught between loyalty, betrayal, and an overwhelming need for the truth. The video, which had appeared out of nowhere, was chilling. Cameron, the man who had once called Jim his brother, was shown laughing with one of Jim's closest associates. The conversation was casual at first, but the underlying menace was clear. They weren't discussing business as usual. They were plotting, setting up a downfall that was much bigger than anything Chrissy had anticipated. And in the background, almost unnoticed, was Chrissy, unaware of the chaos swirling around her, playing her role as the supportive girlfriend, oblivious to the darker motives at work. Chrissy's heart raced as she replayed the video, her mind spun with questions that had no answers. Why hadn't she seen the signs? How long had Cameron's family been planning this betrayal? And what was her role in all of it? Was she just a pawn, a means to an end in a game she didn't even know she was playing? The messages started flooding, and soon after the video went viral. Every gossip site, every social media platform, Chrissy's name was on everyone's lips. But it wasn't the support she had hoped for. The comment sections were filled with accusations, judgments, and venomous speculation. Was she in on it? They asked. How long did she know about Jim's dirty dealings? Chrissy could hardly look at the screen anymore. The world had turned on her, and in the middle of the chaos, the one person she needed most, Jim, was behind bars, and his silence left her to fight this battle alone. But Chrissy wasn't one to back down. She had been through worse before. Her entire life had been under public scrutiny. And if there was one thing she knew how to do, it was survive. The woman who had built a career out of reality TV drama, who had fought tooth and nail to keep her private life just that, private, was now forced into the public eye in the most explosive way possible. The first step was clear. She needed to find out everything. In the dead of night, Chrissy made a decision that would change everything. She reached out to Cameron directly. It was a move that could either make her or break her. After all, Cameron wasn't just any person. He was a figure of power, a man with his own agenda. But Chrissy wasn't intimidated. If she was going to find out the truth, she needed to go straight to the source. The phone call was tense. Every word, every pause, every silence between them felt like a mine waiting to explode. Chrissy's voice trembled at first, but she quickly found her strength. "I know what you've been doing," she said. "I know you've been behind everything. The leaks, the videos, the lies. I want to know why. Why are you doing this to Jim?" There was a long pause on the other end of the line, and for a moment Chrissy thought he was going to hang up. But then Cameron spoke, his voice low and measured. "You don't get it, Chrissy," he said. "It's not about Jim. It's never been about Jim. It's about you. You and your loyalty. You're the one who's been in the way all this time. You've been protecting him, covering for him, but you didn't know the full story, did you?" Chrissy felt the blood drain from her face. "What do you mean?" "Jim's in too deep," Cameron continued. "He's been making moves, pulling strings with people you don't even know. You've been blinded by love, and now it's too late. There's no going back from this." Chrissy's grip tightened around the phone. "So, what, you think you're going to ruin him? Ruin us?" "No," Cameron said, his tone cold. "I'm not ruining anyone. I'm just revealing the truth. The truth that Jim's been hiding for too long." The call ended abruptly, and Chrissy was left standing in the middle of the room, her thoughts spinning. Cameron had just admitted to everything, but there was more to this than he was telling her. There was a bigger plan at play, and she wasn't going to sit idly by while everyone around her destroyed the life she had fought for. In the days that followed, Chrissy dug deeper into Cameron's past, his connections, and his real motivations. She pieced together fragments of the puzzle, and what she uncovered left her reeling. Cameron's family, along with several other powerful figures, had been pulling the strings behind the scenes, using Jim as a pawn in a larger game. It wasn't just about street beef or old grudges. It was about money, control, and a power struggle that stretched across industries. But in her search for answers, Chrissy discovered something that would change everything. The evidence that had been leaked, those damning videos, the photos, the texts, had been manipulated. They weren't just exposing Jim. They were designed to break Chrissy, to make her question everything she knew. The fight for her life, for her love, was far from over. Chrissy wasn't just going to let Cameron or anyone else take everything from her without a fight. As the drama continues to unfold, it seems like we're just scratching the surface of this explosive saga. Will Chrissy finally come clean about her involvement in Jim's arrest? Or is this the ultimate betrayal of trust? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. But we want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Was Chrissy an innocent bystander caught up in a mess? Or is there something much darker at play here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're just as shocked by this turn of events as we are. You don't want to miss what happens next. So make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when the next bigger-than-life drama drops. You know we're on top of everything, bringing you the raw, unfiltered truth. Stay tuned, because if you thought this was crazy, just wait. The real secrets are just getting started.